Greetings, videographers. This is Bruce, and looping videos are a great and effective way to attract attention, communicate your site's brand, image, intentions, etc. So we're going to be creating video loops and then coding them into our web pages. All you'll need is your phone and Adobe Media Encoder for this project, although you can use other video editing software if you prefer. And the most important thing is to keep your phone as still as possible, or your camera as still as possible, in order that the loop has a nice, seamless start and finish. So ideally, the last few frames of your video are identical or almost identical to the first few frames, which will make the loop undetectable. So you can see my setup for creating a background looping video. I've got my bike in the back and the wheels turning, so that's going to be our loop. We're going to try and find the exact frame where it loops around once. I've got my phone attached to just a chair using an elastic, so you don't even need a tripod or anything. The important thing though is that your phone or your camera is perfectly still. In a few minutes we'll load this up and see how it works. All right, so we've got the video that I took off my phone, and I've transferred it over to my computer using AirDrop. Obviously, you can use whatever you want. And I've got Media Encoder open, right, from Adobe. And so we're just going to drag and drop the file into into Media Encoder. We're going to set where we want to save the outputted file, the exported file. So I'm going to call it wheel loop. And then we're going to open up the video settings, or the export settings. Let me just resize this so you guys can see. And what we want to do is we want to try and find a point where the wheel is kind of at the same position as before. So if I take it and I'm going to line up the inflation valve right there on the edge, and then click on the set in point, so a little triangle here, and then I'm going to scrub forward. So I'm going to grab the little blue scrubber here, scrub forward one rotation until it is at the same point minus just one frame, if I can do it. So it's nice and smooth. I'm going to click on the set out point, so the other little triangle. We don't need audio for a loop, so we're going to get rid of the audio. You can see my settings are to match the source. And then I'm just going to export, leaving the video settings at VBR 1 pass and 10 and 12 megabit per second, which is going to give me a very small 2 megabyte file. Click OK. Then I'm going to come up here and start the queue, so we can do many at one time, but here we're just doing one video. It takes no time at all. And if I go back and double click, let me just resize that for you. And I'm going to go, so it's opened up in QuickTime Player, as you can see. I'm going to turn on loop, and if I click play, you should see that it's looking almost perfect. You can see a little bit of a hiccup, but very, very little, not enough to be noticeable. So the next step is we're going to insert this into a web page and see how it works. So now what we're going to do, you can see I've got the wheel loop MP4 already in my web folder, my video web folder. So I'm going to create a new file called loop.html, and then bang or exclamation point tab in order to get a file started. So we're going to keep this super simple. I'm going to just start to add a video tag. So video, and hit enter. And then we're going to add the source. So videos /videos/wheel loop.mp4, and we can get rid of this. And then for the type, it is, I think it's video/mp4. But we'll come back and check that in a second. And so then I'm going to upload this file. And let's go check it online. So it's videos, not video. So we can see it's here. So now what we have to do is add some attributes. So the first one is going to be plays in line. So we can just do it like this, or we can do plays in line equals true, but doing it just like that, plays in line, muted, controls, controls equals false, and I think and loop and autoplay. I don't know if that's everything. We'll figure it out in a sec. And so if we come back to here and refresh, we can see it's playing, it's looping, and that's good, but it's not responsive. So let's go in and make this responsive. So we're going to add some CSS. So I'm going to create a new folder for CSS directly in here. And then in this file, I'm going to create a loop.css file. And what we want to do is we want to set the video, we're going to create a style for video, and we're going to set the width to 100%. And then we'll come back and we will connect. Save that and upload. And now we can see we've got a responsive looping video, but let's make it a background now. An H1. And let's wrap this in a header. Just to help keep everything organized. And let's go into here and do header H1. Position, relative, top, minus 300 pixels. Color, and let's upload that. Okay, and so now that we've got it here, let's work on positioning it. So we can do position absolute, and we'll do top 20 pixels, and right 20 pixels, font size 3M. And there we go. So your mission should you choose to accept it, is to create a looping background video and a page where you can display it. Hope this helps.